Welcome back to the channel, everyone. And on this channel we break down the world's most fascinating tech, military secrets, and the stories that could shape our future. Let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about something that honestly sounds like it belongs in a sci-fi movie, but it's very real, and it's making headlines: China's so-called blackout bomb. Yeah, you heard that right. Not a bomb that blows up buildings, but a weapon designed to turn off the lights across entire cities, maybe even whole regions. It's both fascinating and a little unsettling. When I first came across this story, I'll admit, I thought, is this just some dramatic headline? But the more I dug in, the more I realized this is a real technology, and it could change the way wars are fought in the future. So, what exactly is a blackout bomb? The technical term is a graphite bomb. It's not about causing explosions or leaving craters. Instead, it's all about disruption. Imagine a weapon that can knock out an entire power grid without destroying a single building. Here's how it works. Instead of explosives, the bomb is packed with superfine graphite filaments. Think of them like tiny threads or dust. When the bomb detonates, it releases this graphite cloud over power stations and substations. The graphite settles on electrical equipment, causing short circuits and frying the system. Suddenly, everything just stops. No electricity, no internet, no phone service. Just darkness. China's state media recently released an animated video showing off this weapon. Picture a truck launching dozens of canisters into the air. The canisters burst open, and all these graphite threads float down onto the target area. It's dramatic, and it's meant to send a message. Now, you might be wondering, is this just for show? Or is it actually real? Here's the thing, graphite bombs aren't a new idea. Back in 1991, during the Gulf War, the US used graphite bombs to knock out much of Iraq's power grid. And in 1999, NATO used them in Serbia, plunging about 70% of the country into darkness. So, this isn't just theory. This is proven tech. But why graphite? Why not just blow up the power station? Well, the answer is subtlety. Graphite bombs are designed to disable, not destroy. That means, in theory, you can knock out a city's power without causing massive collateral damage or civilian casualties. It's a kind of clean warfare, at least, that's how some strategists see it. But as we'll talk about in a bit, the chaos that follows a blackout can be just as devastating as any explosion. Think about how much we rely on electricity. It powers our homes, our workplaces, our hospitals, our transport, even our water supply. A blackout for a few hours is a headache. A blackout for days or weeks, across an entire city? That's chaos. Let's get real for a second. Imagine you're in a city hit by a blackout bomb. You're at work, and suddenly, the lights go out. Your phone has no signal. You look outside, no street lights, no traffic signals, nothing. People start to panic. Stores close, ATMs stop working, hospitals switch to backup generators, but those only last so long. And for the military? No communications, no radar, no way to coordinate a response. Suddenly, a country's ability to defend itself is crippled, not by explosions, but by a cloud of dust. But it doesn't stop there. Think about supply chains. Factories shut down. Food can't be delivered. Gas stations can't pump fuel. Even something as simple as getting clean water becomes a challenge because water treatment plants need electricity. And what about emergency services? Police, firefighters, ambulance crews all rely on communications and power to do their jobs. In a blackout, response times slow down and chaos can spread quickly. So, why is China showing this off now? Tensions with Taiwan are higher than they've been in years. There's constant talk about what might happen if China tries to take Taiwan by force. And right as these tensions heat up, Chinese state media releases this blackout bomb video. It's hard not to see it as a warning, or at the very least, a flex. But it's not just about Taiwan. Every modern country is vulnerable to this kind of attack. The US, Japan, South Korea, Europe, everyone depends on massive, interconnected power grids. And most of those grids aren't really protected against something like this. And here's the thing, sometimes, just showing off a weapon is enough to make your opponent think twice. It's called deterrence. You don't have to use the weapon, you just have to convince everyone that you could. And here's another twist. China isn't just working on graphite bombs. They're also developing high-powered microwave weapons, HPMs. These can create electromagnetic pulses, EMPs, that fry electronics. No explosion, no fire, just a wave of energy that shuts down everything electronic in its path. Let's break that down for a second. An EMP, or electromagnetic pulse, is like a lightning strike on steroids. It can knock out power lines, fry computer chips, and disable vehicles. The US military has tested these kinds of weapons, and so has Russia. It's all about disruption, not destruction. And it's not just China. The US has its own EMP weapons. Russia's experimenting with ways to disrupt power grids, too. It's a new kind of arms race, one that's less about firepower and more about who can keep the lights on. Honestly, it's a little scary. We've gotten so used to having power at our fingertips that we forget how vulnerable we really are. Governments know this. That's why, behind the scenes, there's a race to harden power grids and develop countermeasures. But the truth is, there's no perfect defense. Power grids are complex, interconnected, and often outdated. Even in highly developed countries, a single point of failure can trigger a cascade of problems. And then there's the human side. When the power goes out, people panic. Even if authorities have a plan, it's hard to communicate it without electricity. Social media goes down, news stations go off the air, and rumors spread fast. In a crisis, confusion can be just as dangerous as the blackout itself. I remember a few years ago, my city had a blackout that lasted only a few hours. It was chaos. People rushed to stores to buy batteries and water. Traffic was a mess, and everyone was glued to their phones until the batteries died. Now, imagine that on a national scale. Scenario, immersive, detailed. Picture this. It's the middle of winter. A blackout bomb hits a major city. Not only do the lights go out, but heating systems fail. Water pumps stop working. Food in stores and refrigerators starts to spoil. Hospitals run on backup generators, but those only last so long. Emergency services are stretched thin, and people start to worry, not just about comfort, but about survival. Let's say you're a parent. You're trying to keep your kids calm, but it's freezing outside, and there's no way to heat your home. You can't call anyone for help because the cell towers are down. You think about driving to a friend's house, but the roads are pitch black and traffic signals aren't working. It's a scary thought, right? And for businesses, the impact is huge. Factories can't operate, banks can't process transactions, even the stock market could grind to a halt. A city that loses power for days or weeks could take months or even years to fully recover. This isn't just a problem for one country. Countries like Russia, North Korea, Iran, they're all looking at ways to disrupt critical infrastructure. Some are investing in cyber attacks, others in physical weapons like graphite bombs or EMPs. It's a new kind of arms race, and it's happening right now. And it's not just about war. Even the threat of a blackout bomb can be used as a political tool. In the end, the real story isn't just about the bomb, it's about us. How we prepare, how we respond, and how we come together when things get tough. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive. If you found this video interesting, please give it a like, it really helps the channel. If you've got thoughts, questions, or your own blackout story, drop a comment below, I'd love to hear from you. And if you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss an upload. As always, stay safe, stay curious, and let's hope the lights stay on. See you in the next one.